Hey YouTube, today I'll be talking about two of my everyday carry knives I had in rotation, but since have retired them. I was looking through some of my knife boxes and I found them, and I thought I'd uh, do a comparison and talk about a couple of the positive and negative points on the everyday carry experience I had with these two knives. This first one is the Buck Strider collaboration. It's the 889 model, 889 BK, I believe to be exact. It's the 420 HC blade, and the handle is fiberglass reinforced nylon. And this is the same shape and dimensions. The blade is about 3.5 inches. The handle is right at 4 3/8 inch, I believe. It's the same dimensions as the actual SNG Strider knives. What's in the box is my Buck Strider slash Tarani collaboration. This is the 882 model. It's the SBTG Police, I guess is the model. That's what's written on the box. It's a G10 handles, and they're both the same knife. It's just one is more cheaply made. I believe this one has already been discontinued. It came with the rivet handles. Um, it opens in a positive manner. The thumb studs not only help you open them along with the hole, but the thumb studs line up with the actual handles, and they provide an extra, I guess, pivot or stopping point. As you can see, the blade doesn't stop on the spacer here like the other models do. So this is the actual knife stop here on the front, and it's got a very positive lock to it. They come with the bronze, copper or bronze washer. One side is thicker than the other for some reason. I guess that's the way they've done it. The liner on this guy is, I believe, steel, and this has great ergonomics. I love the design because it's got the Strider design with the two finger grooves, and it's got this groove here for the rest of your fingers on the back side. The jimping on this is very, very large, and again, this has got the same dimensions as the actual Strider SNG. The jimping on the back is also thick. They give you two sets of screws on the right and the left side, so that you can reverse the carry, left hand carry, right hand carry. It only comes with the tip up carry. It doesn't have any screw holes on this end of it. So this knife, opening it, using it, everyday feel, it's great. I love the fact that it comes plain edge. To me, it's easier to sharpen plain edge. And this 420 HC steel, it's very easy to sharpen. It doesn't hold an edge as long as the ATS-34 on this guy, the 882. So let's open this one, and this is the Buck Tarani, I guess is what's written on the box, collaboration. And as you can see, the materials on this is a lot better. It's got the G10 handle. The blade steel is the ATS-34, and I don't know if you can see it. It's got the Paul Bowes stamp on here. It says ATS-34 USA. The way they've designed this knife, and I believe it's the Tarani influence, is he's made these so that you can open them with gloves. The texturing on the blade is great. It's great, especially if you have gloves on. Same basic design as the Strider Buck collaboration, except the material on this 882 is a lot better. Now, they're great as far as the feel and the way it locks. There is no play, no lateral movement. They use bronze bushings in this, and it's got the thumb studs as I guess locking stops, or they stop right on the handle. So this knife, when it's open, it feels like it's a fixed blade. I mean, there's no play to it. A great knife. The two negative points, me personally, I don't like the serrations whenever you're cutting boxes or anything else, meat or whatever, the serrations I found shreds up whatever you're cutting. Um, the ATS on this with the Paul Bose heat treatment is this steel is quite hard to sharpen. I noticed it ate up a lot of my sharpening stone just to get a hair shaving uh, edge on this guy. It's the negative side also on this is the fact that when it's in your pocket, it's thick. The edges on these guys, I find it a little bit sharp. I've carried this for a whole year, and as you can see, I've worn the color off the black on these hex screws or Allen bolt screws, Allen screws, and for some reason I thought I would have worn down the G10 on this, but this G10 feels the same as it did when I got it new, and I carried this for about a year. The edges are still sharp, and because the jimping on this is so large, when you wear this in your pocket, when you stick your hand in the jeans to reach for stuff, I mean, you'll shave your knuckles. I mean, it's very cumbersome. They take up a lot of space. It rides high, so that much of it sticks out of your pocket. And like I said, it's just a thick, cumbersome knife in your pocket. It's not that long, so when you bend and move around it, it's okay. But because this part is so thick, you really feel it in your pants pocket, especially when you try to reach for stuff in your pocket. It's got the open back, so again, if you put coins in there also, yeah, it'll find its way to the blade. It's got an opening just on this side for a lanyard, but I don't necessarily put lanyards on my knives, especially for everyday carry situations. On this guy, the edges on this is a bit more softer and rounded, but the fiberglass or the nylon handle is just the checkering on this guy is sharp. I mean, you could probably sandpaper something with it. Again, I've everyday carried these guys for about a year, and pretty much I thought I would have wore this down a bit, but obviously not. It's still sharp as it was the day I got it. The edges on this is a bit more forgiving and rounded, but it carries the same in the pocket. You reach inside for things, you put your hand in your pocket. When this is in there, it's a thick knife, it's cumbersome, and it'll shave your knuckles. And that after a while, you don't even want to put your hand in your pocket other than to get the knife out. But as far as the overall feel for the knife, they feel a great forward grip and reverse grip. You got this jimping here for your thumb, a great place to rest your hand, and it gives you a positive feel if you're gonna, stab or puncture or cut with it. Now you can put your finger groove or put your finger on the second finger groove for slashing, thrusting, and cutting and stabbing, or you can move it forward for your close-up work, whittling and cutting wood, anything that you deem you need a close grip to it. It fits and feels great this way too. So both knives are similar, and they feel great in your hand as tools, but in your pocket carrying it around, if you have to reach in your pocket for anything, or if it's just cold outside and you want to put your hands in your pocket, you're going to end up cutting or shaving or rubbing up against this, and it's not a pleasant feel. After a while, you're like, this knife's too bulky and big. But positive side is when you use it, I mean, these are sturdy knives. I would go in a battle with these any day and have full confidence that they'll hold up to everyday task. One more thing, I did actually swap out the blades. I put the blade on the 889 on the 882, and they swapped out perfectly. It gave me a nice tactical knife, black G10, felt great. It almost feels like it absorbs moisture off your hand, because I like the black color blade and the plain edge. But the negative side is that the liner lock only goes a little past a quarter, almost halfway. I don't know if you can see this on the Buck Tarani, but on the Buck Strider, it goes all the way to the end of travel. So when I swapped the two, the liner on this G10 went to the end of travel on the black blade, and I didn't like that. It kind of bugged me because even though it's still locked up tight, I just knew if I wore it down as an everyday carry, it'll eventually, the liner lock would fall off the blade. Um, so I just, didn't feel comfortable with that. So I put them back the way they were. Anyway, great knives for the price point. This one was right at, I remember paying like $56, $55 for it. And this one I remember paying like $89, $90. On this model right here, I've seen them as high as $150 now, just because I guess, they're far and few and hard to get a hold of. But the downside, again, to me, I don't like the serrations. I never liked carrying serrations as an everyday carry. I mean, they're good, I guess, for cutting seat belts, but daily tasks and daily chores, you shred all kinds of stuff when you use serrations. So anyway, that's my findings on these two knives. Great knives, but as far as everyday carry, I wouldn't want to everyday carry this, just so much because they're bulky and the sharpness of the handles. You gotta reach in your pocket or put your hands in your pocket. They take up a lot of space. So that's my opinions and findings on it. If you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If not, I'll be safe out there.